computer. Ușa s-a logat? Da. Vedeți ecranul?
Da. Da, da, da.
Se vede pe tot ecranul?
Da.
Să vă rog să închideți microfoanele. Ca
Da,
să...
eu m-am logat, sunt ușa.
Nu se vede pe tot ecranul.
Da, nu
E în stil PDF. Acum se vede pe tot ecranul.
Ok. Bine, o să vă rog să închideți microfoanele undeva din stânga jos, da? Ca să putem să facem rugăciunea și să putem să lăsăm, bineînțeles, doar Geshe și Cușera nu vor închide microfoanele. Să închidem microfoanele. Mă auziți? Cei care vorbesc? Undeva în stânga jos este un microfon. Să apăsați pe el ca să se închidă.
И потом, понимаешь же, можно же просто, ну, как я с Айсовым, да, то есть я хотела приглашать людей, вот, то есть, и оплачивать за счет тех, которые приходят у них. А потом после этого, ну, к примеру, если это прям курс целый, да.
Nu știu de ce se aude așa.
Представляешь,
Un radio undeva? Sau ceva?
Вот он вычитывает курс, по нему потерял видео.
Îl puteți opri dumneavoastră.
Это все быстро, и мы
Îl puteți da mut.
Вот.
Știți de unde?
Мы ее издаем, как бы даем ему звук.
Gata, de la Acniș Sama. Ok. Should we start with the prayer?
Yes, you can start.
Maybe you can help to in the Tibetan, to do in Tibetan, please. Shut up. You have a good tone.
Okay, so I do Tibetan, okay?
Please.
Tumba chomden de tejin shaba da
Jamba yondaba sobe
sanje ba dan shaosu dawara shaba
Tuden shamba jiwo dewe kalo jowa
meta hadam
Nanam je tomba sanje chomden de tejawa shaja toba
shaja tuba la
Jansa lo chodo 다 살치 좀 속은
Pekin temasım tek tecamendo.
tomba
Chomden de tejin shaba da chomba yanda ba zobe sanje riba shaosu denba dawara shaba jikin chamba Tumba sanje chomden de ba jawa shaja tuba la Tumba chomden de tejin shaba tumba yanda ba zobe sanje riba Dozun denba dawara shaba jikin chamba kalon
Lada menam je domba
Number zanje jomden ba jawa shaja tuba la
chansa lo chodo jasu je
Uchi wo
sa je
Peje joje meta dam ra linje ni de jenba Sanje shindo mide kowa ye nanda
Jeba sho ye
Idam guru rana mendala
kaniya
aya mi
sanje chodan
Chodan soji
Namala
Chanchu
Paru
Bakutani
Dane Jasu Chen
Jibe Sonam
Rola Tenje Sanje Droba Sho Sanje Chodan
Chodan soji chonam ma chanchu
Paru Dane Jasu
Daji Chendere Jebe Sonam Je Dola
Kola Genje Sanje Droba.
Dopara Sho.
Okay. Many Trashi Dele. Good afternoon. Yeah, that's Maso Kasanguma Chaji Chiba in the Talo Shiramani Pagi Roman Nil Pachin, and Marazum or Tinjiki which you're thinking, the Talo Nazati Kitchen Chene, and Jachum Maso, and Nabasoke, number 2 last of Samato to Setsari de Dainaya, to Jachum Maso, that is Gondas Hueta, and Terengaso de Tajak Jula. Jie de Shirak Gao Chung Sons.
Okay.
Any Chanato Sama Devo injury and Abe Devo is.
So we were supposed to come to Romania according to our initial plan, but then unfortunately, due to the problem of COVID-19, we couldn't realize our program as we did. But I'm still happy to be here with you, sharing, the screen here and seeing you directly in Zoom. And maybe then we'll have another opportunity in the future to come there together with Sheriff, who knows.
Tangaso, Chevalier Chuju Nala Tinison Yoruba. Tanjun Deni, Yabashindo Gas. Zambulin Dinalia Narasu, Tasocha Manguchi Yortina, Tanjur Kimilus Eti, Hajanke, and E. Habore Sonyore, Tanjun Deni, Yabashindo Gas. Jibu Tondo, Tobachuba Lassituta, Tanjuchi Milu, Tobeke, and Tanjuki Lute, the Hajanke, Kechambota, Zachimure, Imbijuse Karsana, Tanjuchi Milu to be Kaptelea, Narasochi, Chibuke, Dodon, Karina Drutures, Egapta, Tartuki, Dodon Karina Druture, Randonda Shindo, Karina Druture, Tisa, Iutondo, Tobachuvala, said it is Songori. The Cartin de la Pemba Madrona said to Cartin also a Lieutenant di Tolia, and Pendoge, Rajiniga la Pembisha, Jachimboji Madrubina. Chin the Amba Yuba Kalangers, that Java Chimalia Tadana Shiki, any milieu, Tindichi Lieutenant Sangochi, Toyota in Cabores or this one.
Okay. I would like to start the teaching with a quotation from Shantideva's famous text called the Bodhisattva Charivatara. So Shantideva says, Shantideva says that that the precious human body we have now is very precious and it's very rare, with all the 18 qualities and so forth. And so why it is important is because with the precious human rebirth we can attain whatever we would like. This is the point, yeah. And then Shantideva was saying, while having such a precious human body, if we don't do something meaningful, it would be very greatly pity. Shantideva says, and then and therefore Shantideva was saying that if we don't do anything meaningful now, how can we find again such a precious human rebirth in the future? There's no guarantee.
Then there's some that Talingaso, Tanjuchi Milu, 자침부 던지지 톱 아니 가서 류텐디 톨이야 소소케 배송 지리나 아니 가서 나그 갑자기 시고래 치치 류치리야 상제고 공부 투여돼야 안가라 좋다 잠블리 미 류텐디 치부마도 로신다 시고요 말이 어디니 이자 다 달래 밀리토버티 하장께 가오상보이 삼네 삼노다에다 다 밀리토버 참도 마시바 밀리언 디기 류텐 디기 톨라 다 가르소그레 냠네 아버지체 로종체 냠네체네 밀리토버데다 펜도 여버치 밀리토버데 돈다 덴버치 고초버치 제고 삼삼삼 다이디 패키지 버레서
then we should feel very fortunate to have been born as such a birth now, being born as a human being, and with this human body, even from the point of view of Tantra, if one puts all the effort, one can attain enlightenment, one can attain the full nirvana within this very lifetime. So we should feel very happy to have such a precious human birth, and then we should also at the same time we should put effort to do something meaningful, to use it to use this human birth, this the opportunity in many positive ways, and then in this way the value of the human birth is not wasted. We always learn, we study, we do something meaningful. So in this way, the value we have is spent in the right way.
다 들어가서 대 휴시에 대 아니 갈수 그랬다 사실 장바 장센스 그러다 사자이네 제주 장바 장센이 제베 아니 신바시들 세디 다 치데 시라베 가주디 시스가 셰도와 쇼로가 지체 다데 시부치키 치유용 인발라 아니 돈다데 개첨부터 아니 자첨부 어다 딘지 차도 요리스티자 가르소고레 제주 장바 잔세기 제비다 셴바시들 세야데 아니 로종 고르체 다데 용라치 배 차도 요레서.
Okay. So today the subject of our teaching is called the four detachments, the four ways to separate ourselves from the four attachments. These four detachments are teachings which came from such a great Satya master called Geshe Jampa Gelek, and the content itself is very short, only one stanza, or it has only 4 lines. Yet it is very powerful, and it contains the entire meaning of the Dharma within these 4 lines. So we try to now elaborate it and understand it, and to explain what Geshe Jampa Gelek meant. Okay.
야다 가서 다다디 사자 고만 남가세지 남방가 송요래 사자 고만 남가세게 나리야 당보때 사신 공간님보 세들이 사신 공간님보 세때 코라인에 다다디 셴바 시드르 세때 아니 사실 공간님보리야 제준 잠배양게 셰세네 제준 잠배양게 아니 사실 공간님볼 마송 사실 공간님보케 랑게 세 다다 제주 잡아 잔세세야디 텔라 마송 체네 제주 잡아 잔세 게 다다다 마수 셴바 시드르세야디 배샤나라 투스 소르코네 셴바 시드르세 코니에데 제주 잡아 잔세세야디 코란도 시네 이 차도 요레스 다다데 Shamba Shidar said the Jesun Jambe Yang Ki Ranki and Tata Jesu Tabaja Asur Tata Sachi Kungani Bolma Shesine and Shamba Shidar said the Tusine Jamia Ranki in Nanshe Jeres and the Tata Naso and a Gilupa Drochina Jesun Jamia Ranki in Jamala Masonga Batusma Shesine Lamji so Namsum said Sung Yorwa. Lamji no so Namsum se Sung Bate Tata de Shamba Shidar se Sung Bate Tani Mandre Mato Tonda, the Lamzo Namsunda and Tonda Chivacha Yoresa.
Okay. The origin of this teaching, this poor detachment, is actually from another great Sakya master called Sakya Kunga Nyingbo. This means, in the Sakya tradition, there's a group of five higher lamas, So among the five higher lamas, or five high lamas, the first is called Sakya Kunga Nyingpo. So Sakya Kunga Nyingpo was the master, and he actually received these teachings on the four detachments directly from Venerable Madhushari, which means Madhushari appeared in a vision, in the vision of Sakyapinda Kunga Nyingpo. At that time, it was just sort of like, teachings through vision. But then later on, the Sakyapinda Kunga Nyingpo had his son, which is the Geshe Jampa Gelek. So later on, Geshe Jampa Gelek actually wrote these four detachments with pen on a paper. Then it became visible. In the beginning, it was not really written down. It was just teachings given in vision by Madhushari to Sakyapinda Kunga Nyingpo. So then later on, it became visible because it was written down by the son, Geshe Jampa Gelek. Okay, so this four detachments came. This is the way how it came. From Venerable Madhushari, Sakyapinda Nyingpo, the Geshe Jampa Gelek, and so on. Okay. Now, from the point of view of Gelugpa, for example, we said that also Madhushari appeared in the vision of Lama Tsongkhapa, and Venerable Madhushari taught the subject called the three principal aspects of path to Lama Tsongkhapa. So this means it's also something very similar. This means the three principal aspects of the path, and the four detachments. The terms are different, but the essence of come down to the same point.
Oh, yeah, that's such a Kunga Nyingbo che, this Trapa Jansen che, Tima se tela, and Sonam Semos, Tisumbo Telea, such a command Namanale, in the cardboard Napsum said, Koroso, Shantab Carboji Conchene, then Genya. Carbon Namsum Seneshugore. And a T.J. Sir Tata Sajapendra Kunga Jansen and Rongo Chujer Papa. Tini wote ten Rabjun Itza, Namza Marboji Choritin, Marbo Namni Sene, Saja Koma Namanale, Tango Sumte, Chimbachene, Genya Chene, Carbon Namsums. Any Shivatangawa Nibote Rabjun Chene, any Marbonam Sumsita, Sajukomanam was in Otusin in Shugures.
Okay, now I try to complete the three remaining Sakya master. So I said that there are five higher great Lama in Sakya tradition. Yeah. So the first is Kunga Nyingpo, then Geshe Jampa Gelek, spiritual son. Then came Jetsun Subadi Melakaza Jala, the Subadi.
Such a Pendita Kunga Jansen.
Okay.
Kunga Jansen.
So the third is Kunga Gelek, and these three masters are the first three among the five higher Sajja Master. Yeah, these three are called the three white Sajja Lama. Why? Because these three are masters with upasaka vows, which means they have lay vows. They put on lay clothes, not red color. And after this, the fourth and the fifth, Kunga Yeltsin and Dogun Chojol Pakpa, this fourth and fifth are called the two red Sajja Lamas. This means first three are white, and the second two, that means fourth and fifth, are called the two red Sajja Lamas, because they have taken monk's vows, ordination. Therefore, they put red clothes, and they are called with such name. Okay, so in this way, we have the image of the five Sajja Masters complete, the five higher Sajja Lamas.
Oh, yeah, that was it. That Zawati, do what Zawatilia. Sendela Shena, Chuba Miss. Sendela Shena, Chuba me. Comes from La Shena, Nejung me, says to her. Or Tiki, Kamba Tambuni, Karting Yoris, Lavinata, Lamjito Namsum Nani, Nejung said it in Yoris.
Okay.
And the Kamba Sumba Diki. Tadon la chene in the Changchup Jisem me say take te Lamtiso Namsong Nani in the Changchup Jisem de Ding Yoris. Kangba Shivachi doa Zambachona Tawa me say di Lamtiso Namsong Nani in the Yantabi Tawa Asene. Tadi Kangba Tambuni King Nejung che Kangba Sumba take Changchup Simche, Kangba Shiva take Yantabi Tawa Chine, Lamtiso Namsong Duskin Ding Yoris.
Now we try to see what the actual four detachments are. The four detachments are actually taught through exactly four lines. So four lines here in Tibetan, as we read now here. The first line says, "Tse dila shena choba min," which means if you are attached to this life, you are not a true spiritual practitioner. Then we have the second line saying "Kam sumla shena nyejung min," which means if you are attached to the three realms or samsara, you do not have renunciation. Okay, and then we have the third line saying "Daktun la shena changzen min." If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. Then comes the fourth line saying "Zimba chungna tawa min." If there is grasping, you cannot have, or you do not have the view. So now, before I say to you, that these four detachments are compatible to the three principal aspects of path. Why? Because now we analyze, because the first two lines, on the first two lines says, if you are attached to this life, you are not a true spiritual practitioners, and if you are attached to the three realms, you cannot have a true renunciation. These two actually correspond to the first of the three principal aspects of the path, which means the renunciation. And then when the third line talks about the having too much focus on the self-interest, it eliminates, or it doesn't allow you to have a bodhicitta. This is compatible to the second principle of the aspects of the path, which is the bodhicitta. Okay, and then the fourth line, "Zimbachuna tawa min." If there is grasping, there is no view, and this exactly corresponds to the third principle aspects of the path, which means the correct vision of emptiness. So this is how the four detachments and the three principal aspects of the path are compatible. They are related to each other. Okay.
야다 센들라 셴나 쳬바메 송류다 쳬바세나 가르스오레슬라드 마수 쳬바세티 센들이야 차바다 셴바메 바지고 그레스 제가 가서 로가 센디 키키 세타 코타 네마르타 론조타 에네 녜녜도타 에네치 조모라 소바테소 칸라야 차바다 네 셴바 메바지고 그레스 덴디케치 차제 슈첨부 여바이나 다디 추바 마레스류다 추바세티 쳔데다 치만 이진나니 치마 또 제바지고 그레스 치마 그 삼나 메바체 니 쳔디 지구기 체도 삼나 담바이나 어다디 가서 지텐세들 마도디 추세디 차요 마레스 디자 최단 지텐세디 지텐세디 가서 미친딘 디나로라 쳔디 지구기 체도 도스치네 자와가 두바텔라 이네 지텐 쳔데 많이 봤다 제와 치마 제와 치마치 야나 원토 야나 녜리 타르바다 탐치제 뭐다 진지게 공부 투에게 치도 자와 강주바이나 어다디 최세데 최단 지대게 다 쳐버데 도친 시행 거래서
Okay. Now, if we always think of these 4 lines of the teachings of these 4 detachments, the first line says, if you're attached to this life, you cannot be a true spiritual practitioner. You cannot be a true Dharma practitioner. And this means, of course, what is happening to us usually is that we are attached to many things of this life. We are attached to our clothes, we are attached to our foods, to drinks, to women, to husband, to girlfriends, to boyfriends. We are attached to all these objects that are only involved for this life. So as long as we are attached to these things that are only for this life, we cannot be a real Dharma practitioner or spiritual practitioner, because a spiritual practitioner means that it has to be somebody who does not have so much interest for this life, but who has more interest to think of for the future life, to think of getting something meaningful for the future life. This means one does something virtuous, something meaningful, in order to have something like a good rebirth or a nirvana or something, a great scope in the future. And that makes so that kind of the scope makes us to become a Dharma practitioner. Because when you talk about Dharma practitioner or spiritual practitioner, the criteria is very easy. If you are attached, if you are interested by only this life, then it's only become mundane practice. But if we are interested in for the future purpose, then we become the practitioner of Dharma, practitioner for the future life. And for the future life means, we do something positive now, so that we take a higher rebirth, or human rebirth, or maybe we do some practice to attain nirvana. So anything that we do for the future purpose then makes us automatically a Dharma practitioner. But if we are only very busy with only for this life, running after food, clothes, boyfriend, girlfriend, and so forth, then we are only mundane practitioner.
다다다 가서 센들라 시나 최범면 세테케 가서 라렘지 값수 아니 지부 숨절람 지름 바세 줘버티 나네 지부 중국 람지름 바티 대땡 요레스 계산 가서 지부 중국다 링 첨보시도 체바디 가르스나 또 굴롱게 체벌 때니 시고요 봐 센데다 아니 치마 이진나네 세치마 로 제와 치마 에너지 원토 하다 미그 공부 토베게 체드 치마 돈이르기 선바든지 지기 네 개와카레 두바이나야 딘지게 최들라 지부 중을 주 스승고요래 대이상 선들라시나 최바미센도 다 최바세데 만탈이야 최바세데 지부 중을게 람 란줄이야 줄에 됨바지 고거래 텔이야 만타 아니 선데다 치마 이제나네 니 치마 조치네 치마 돈이지 아니 치마 것도 돈이지 아니 삼백이 심바지 고고요래서
then now when this first line of the four detachments, the four lines here says that if you are attached to this life, you cannot be a spiritual practitioner. This if we examine now from the point of view of the three levels of practitioner in the Lamrim teaching. We have three different levels of being: small being, medium being, and great being. Small being means not in terms of physical, but small being means it's a question of the mental capacity. That the capacity of the mind is that one has the capacity to think for the future life. One tries not to be born in the three lower realms. So as somebody has the interest for the future, the minimum thing not to be born in the lower realm, at least it is already a spiritual practitioner, but it belongs to the level called the small level, the small capacity, because one just does the minimum for the future life, not to be born in the lower realm. So that makes this practitioner, the Dharma practitioner, to belong oneself to the small capacity or small level of being. Yes, this is all for now.
당 알아서야 친들라 이니 차바타 이니 셴바티 지주요 말이 세티 준생 카레스 라보이나 말아서 제와 통마 매바니 다다 파르트 로와 제와 통마 매바니 다다 파르트도 신의 민두로 셴데 아니 동에 나서지 용어체네 다다 파르트야 호월이야 코르데티 가르치바레스라드 로와 sendelya jewa karichina jewa teta setele janja samnotane jewa chimada energy tarbada tamji jeba seyede tindike samno junamada wache sendana ke shawa janja na nami tha ta tindichela pa gokhone to chene zone tada bartu globares.
Okay, the point now is to know why we should not attach ourselves to the present, to this life. Why? Because we have already been too busy ourselves with always looking after things of this life. Even in the past, many years before, many life before, we have already been all the time busy for ourselves, for this life, and we have already come to samsara, and again look for this life. We work for this life. We never thought of something for the future, and we have done this all the time, always looking for the present purpose, present interest, and in this way we pass our life. We finish our rebirth, we finish our life, and then again we will come back. So in this way, we finish all our time, all our energy, only for the purpose of this life. In this way, there's no essence, there's no benefit, and yet we finish all our time in this.
야, 따뜻히 송요로 봐. 가서 좀 낸데 기타다 도와나라 텐디 송요래. 두지제 타시에서 지 송요래. 따디 페제 지나서 고용요래. 나한테 망고시고요. 제가 따디 카르팅오르스나 챈들이야. 셔바 제나 아니 인보 메비 주센데 시고요래. 좀 낸데 텐디 송요래. 사바코제 타지징스. 통보남죠. 남제 타동주 체비 타만 잡았대. 제비 탐 처벌이 있으네. 다 두제 타시 독송요. 디자 당고들이야. 사바고 이제 타지제스도 챈들이야. 지 노론줄라 소바다. 배샤라 소바. 가시 사고이나야. 타마디 이니 세르드레스. 통보남죠 타동주르세티 통보세티 지 가시베 왕차 통보다 그지 벌써 통보들이라고도 와가서 어떻게 전에 타마 에너지 마 온차단 고사 가야메바 타동로야지레스 도모남도 타동요 체비 타마 잡아테스도 체바세데 알아서다 지 가원예보다 년예도다 낭메다 세네 코웨게 표성소바 간리지 에네 냠도 체바이나야 타마디 상마도스제네 바 카탄로야지레스 제베 타마 처벌세데 zambilin jinaliya 드린 제샤스 드린 메테 니 제샤스라나 타마틸 니마치타 데 시샤세지 제베 타마 시사마도 제마도 신로서 신게 요마레 디이자 센데게 부송소바 간디진이나 이나야 타마티 탈이야 고르치 타마이네 동로치레스 데송도
Now, another point that I want to underline here is that that we have to understand why there's no really essence to attach ourselves all the time for this for the object of the present of this life. For this, actually, there is a teaching of Vinaya by the Buddha. For those who are ordained, for those who have interest in Dharma. So Buddha say like this in the Vinaya. You know, in the Vinaya teaching, the Vinaya means the subject of monastic discipline. He said that in this this present life, no matter what we do, at the end we all have there are four things called the four ends. Four ends means the end of accumulation is a finishing. This means, you know, whatever we accumulate money, we accumulate materials, we accumulate houses, we accumulate clothes, we accumulate so much on and on and on and so forth. But at the end, the accumulation comes to an end. It will all finish. It will all come to an end. This is first end. And then there is another second end, END end, yeah? Second end, this is called, in Tibetan we call ta. Ta means the end, you know, the last one. The second end is the end of being in high position. What is the end of being in high position? Question. And the answer is, end of being in high position means that you finish up by falling down. And it is very logical. It is something very understood. You know, in people who fight, who struggle so much to gain some kind of high position in political rank, in social rank, we become very high. We have very high position. But sooner or later, the people fall down. So one ends up or one finish up by falling down. This is the second end. This is the second end. Now we have there's the third end. And the third end is called the end of meeting is separation. And this is also very logical because whatever we meet, whenever we meet friends or boyfriends or girlfriends, family, all people around, we meet, but then at the end, all these people will separate. So the end of the meeting is separation. Nobody, live. Nobody on this earth, in this life, nobody is. All people can never end together. They all end up by separation, by nature. By nature. This is a third kind of end. Now there's fourth kind of end, which is even more worse. Fourth end is the end of birth is death. This is the difficult one, yeah. So I'm sure you must have heard this four things, maybe also in the past, from reading books, from other teachings, yeah. So you know very well that whenever somebody is born, that person is automatically designated to death, and you know very well that anybody who is born on this earth in this life has always died. There is nobody on this earth in this life who is born who has never who is there without dying. This is impossible.
야 다나 긴 가서 꼰촌 지미 온보세 벽에 라마치오레 콩거든이 송거레 세소메다 따치 서바 아시스 마라초 에니 미시디 나로레 체다 소 세티 메타브레스 에니 따치 서바라스 짜이 세몰레야 쇼게가보 에니 추이세바 세바 차가요와 어디 니마 아니 샤바다 랑상 감루고요 테스 투스 좋아이나 콜랑송 지도에 지든이 시고로 아디 짜짜지 서바라스 드니 송거레 에니 루셈 lonju meta tongxin de tandras no lonju panjur khande che na meta bares te ngaso tongka ki timbana ki lamsam pege dada yona dada mechine ani jubiran chi res nyeshin meta chondun robodras nyenta ro nyeshe ta gawo niwo nami khande chi na ya chondu ko robona ki res chondu ko robos de ngaso 소란 로지 두신이나 대리 냠듯이 좀체 산이네 도시네 카타루고도와 어디서 탐치에 딱 메타버에 교회라시레 되게 손남이 네버에 대해서 탐치 저나 진지 돕지고 기지기지기 딱 조가드려야지로 왔더니 일단 소소야 교회라시 제 메타버라시레 타마다 치료해지레 집에 니모들이야 아니 가서 만미 시바나시 남치 주체네 누구 말에 양자 제와 질랭고래 제와 틀이야 제와 상당에 세디 제와 가릴레 밀레데 소소다당 장와요 말에 디이자 교계와 톱체바 있나 디 톱체 된로 찐로에 좀메게 톱체바 있나 디 톱체 겐로레 찐로에 그래마도 고레 게디 톱체 중그 왕게 제와 상에 질랭 루그레마도 소소게 베도바나시 삼바나시 찐가서 장와요 말이스 디이자 12년 못텔라다 가리 팽을 했을라나 아니 개와시에디 팽을 개와시에디 추여세들이 추여세디 다 조조고티 자와 상보지 그러와 삼바 상보지 그 거는라니 아니 메세데 배 자와 상보지 두바이나 현라 팽로여 버지 현라야 팽바지 두바이나 어 추여세디 들이 다디 랑게 심줄이야 바차시샤니 다 제와 천만이 천만이야 냠도 줘야지 딘로 그래서 어디 숨어요
So always in regard to this subject about attachment to this life, also another great Tibetan master called Poncho Jingme Wongpo, he said that all our pleasure, all our resources, all our friends, they are all subject to change very fast. He said, for example, our pleasure are very, are very like lasting very shortly. He said, the pleasure we have, the happiness we have, is as fast as the dewdrop on a piece of grass. You know very well what I mean. Yeah, sometime in the morning, in certain let's say like a season. When there are many grasses, on the piece of grass, there's a little bit of water, like maybe, I don't know, 1 milligram or 2 milligrams of water, So those dewdrops of the water, are not permanent, are very transient, are very something that lasts short. Just in the same way, the happiness, the pleasure, what we have in this life is something very short as the duration of that dewdrop on a piece of grass, okay? Now, secondly, this contradicting will say, we can have, lots of materials, car, houses, clothes, and so forth. But then he said, all these are, they can disappear. We can lose them, like by some like misfortune. Anything can happen. We cannot trust them to have forever. They are like something that lasts for a short time, just like the time of autumn season. In the autumn season, what happens? Suddenly comes rain, suddenly comes sunshine, suddenly comes wind and so forth. So nothing is sure. Everything can change, up and down and so forth. Then after this contradiction will say, also don't attach yourself too much to this present life, by in terms of friends, families, and so forth. All these friends and families and so forth, they're also something we cannot trust to have them forever. And Jim will say they are not everlasting. They are just like they are just like a guest who are invited for a big meeting in a meeting hall. And we know what it means. When we have a big meeting hall, we have many guests from different countries to make the meeting. But once the session is finished, all the people go. All the people leave that meeting hall, the guest house. So just as the guest house go away, also all our friends disappear.
that is what is 좀 내게 당보 잠빌에 최 당보 송인데 두제 탐진에 메타바레스네 메타바 송도 같이 메타바 송도 대 가르팅 거르세나 아니 센들이야 셴바치죠 말에 센들 하장게지 착바침보다 센들 하장게지 셴바침보치죠 말에 탐시 메타바레스네 딱 맞추대 두제 탐진에 메타바서 당보 메타바 송으로 와
So this means, Buddha wants, us to understand that any kind of compounded phenomena is impermanent. This is what Buddha wants us to understand, So since the compounded phenomena are impermanent, then they have all the 4 kinds of ends that we just said before. End of this is this, the end of the meeting is separation, end of this is this. So therefore, we should not, with this understanding, we then should not focus too much on any kind of objects of this life.
Yeah, that also go to what that you only comes from like Shana and Jumi, company batik. Comes from like Shana and Jumi said, the carting go to Sana. Chibun drink lamjir but the tango, Talam Shana, chibun drink lamjir but tango. 제상아서 기본 중인 시주 가르스고스나 chen data chima ijinani ni chimache chimatela ngoto ta ngili ibe nani ene ngoto maimbache sechima ene ngili rowa sechima ngili sete ta tarbate ya simche tamji ki chedu maimba raji po ene kowa tele tabi ene tarba 돈도 예비 삼바티니지 요디니 telya chimring sungu yorwa chimring lamji ba sungu yorwa ti za chimring ke lamji jamba tindichi nyamne chebala kamsumla ya sheba meba ji kogres kamsum se yorwa nga sun do kamsumi kam o kamsumla ya chakbata kamsumla ni sheba meba ji kogre kamsumla ni sheba ina ti ni ngyung samba se de mares ngyung se ti 아니 감솜지 최 코와게 내 탐지려야 아니 차제 매봐 코와 델레 탈비 아니 탈바 동의지 삼바질라 니 중그 삼바스 송여로와 어디 지금 드링기 있는 라면티 된 거요래서
now the second line of the teaching, the second detachment, actually also in the translation, also in English, is not exactly precise, It just is some sort of, but it's in Tibetan actually it says kamsum, which means the 3 realms. So if you are attached to 3 realms, then you cannot have renunciation. This is so this means samsara of course means samsara covers the 3 realms, but if we want to be precise, we should say if you are attached to 3 realms, you cannot have renunciation. So this is the second detachment, and this from the point of view of the 3 levels of beings, it is the level of the medium being. So medium being or middle level of being means a level of mental capacity, of sort of like mental capacity, the middle way, the middle, let's say, the middle level, which means one just doesn't try only to be free from the lower realm, but one tries to be free from also from the upper 2 realms. This is why we have to talk about 3 realms, because we have lower realm. The first level of the small being tries only to be free from lower realm, and the medium, the small, the medium being or middle level of being, he tries to be not only free from the lower realm, but also from the 2 other upper realm. The upper realm means human realm and God realm. Okay, lower realms are the bad ones, and the human realm and bad. The God realm, the person, the medium level of being tries to be free from all the 3, not only from the lower. So this is then this second detachment corresponds to the level of the medium level of being or medium capacity of the mind.
다 넘버 4집에 흉려야 코어 간가 동해계랑 길에 송고요래. 동해들이야 동해계 동해 주외 동해 차와 누시제 동해에서 동해 솜씨고 요래. 제상 알아서 남주 지대 팔바테 속에 동해세티 동해계 동해 지구마도 주외 동해 다 차와 누시계 동해대 동해 인방운지 제 투고요 말에. 제자 동해계 동해시도 알아서 지대 용달이야 지 류지 초와 동해다 섬지 초와 동해 초와 동해시도 이야 들이야 동해지 동해세들이 대점 이네 동해 인방원시 마도 알아서 주외 동해세티 사시지 초와 대화들이 주외 동해 어때가서 동해 기란신이 뭐 하고요 말로 갔다디 사시지 초와 대화티 따티페 대화 탈툭디 드리실이야 뭔지 제체네 사시지 초와 대화 어디 초에게 체도 당가서도 시네 로디요로와 사시지 초와 대화시에 대야 좀 낸데게 동해레스 주위 동해레스도 갈 수 없으나 사시지 초와 대화 대야 초와 동해 오를 파토시네 니 조르고요레스 나랑 가서 차와 시부치 여비급라 차외게 동해지도와 차외 동해대 하바 장모치 롱스르지 자운도 디니급수 롱스르디게 니 녀에게 류시지 초와시도와 들이야 초와 대바지 지게도 초와 대바지 지게도 양 가라오지게 하바데 슈트라소나 유리소나 야 다기 롱스르 하바 전문용에게 초와데 야 동해를 파 주르고도와 어따 배테나지 전에 사지주 초와 대와 강이 버티 야 동해 뭐를 파 주르고리스 그 대외 뭐 네가 요 말에서 뜻송거래 다 지대 가서 가서 다다 차원도지 동해세디 초월레처럼 초와 동념들에 초와 동념티 아니 차원도지 동해세디 도시구로 디장 코와라 제친시라 코와라 가 제비 최대 탐지때 레다 뇨모 오게 중에 인 사치주 최장장 인사 들려야 동해기랑 심마도 땐도 대화시에 자원이네요 말이 땐도 대화티 가르스는 코와 딜레 타르치네 뇨모 빵비 드라좀바 톱소나 아니 다 타르바시에 디두토바레 땐도 대화시에 타투게 대화시에 다 디지 토고브레스 송바라.
Okay, now we have to understand why this medium being tries to be free from all three realms. This is the question, yeah? Why? The answer is because if you or if we are in three lower realms, in the lower realm or in the human realm or the God realm, we are always with one of the three sufferings. The three sufferings, you know, they are there, but we don't notice, you know. Usually what we notice is only one type, because, you know, there are three sufferings, and these three sufferings are the suffering of pain, suffering of changing, the suffering of suffering of privation. So usually what we understand, what we know, what we consider as suffering is only the pain. The pain that we have is suffering. The suffering of suffering is the pain. You know, pain means the bad feelings, painful feeling that we have in the body consciousness or mental consciousness. Yeah. So the painful feeling are easily understood by us, or we easily know that they are suffering, and this pain are the suffering of suffering. We all know this. All the people in some sort of know this, understand this very, very easily, because there's pain, because there's something uncomfortable. But people do not know. People do not take the two other suffering as suffering. They rather misunderstand. For example, the contaminated, the happy feeling of the contamination, you know, the happy contaminated feeling is something seems to be happy, something seems to be good, but in fact they are changing. This is something that we all usually, that actually we are all confused, no? Oh, I'm happy now. Of course, we are happy because we have the contaminated happy feeling, but we don't know. The people often do not know that they are changing. They realize only after some time, and at that time, then we say, oh, before I was happy, now I'm unhappy, and that shows that it is suffering of a suffering of changing. And this is exactly the same as, you know, when somebody has you know, somebody's very hot from hot weather, you know. So in the hot weather, in the hot sun, you know, we feel suffering. In the hot weather or hot sunshine, we have suffering of the sun, the heat. At that moment, we have the contaminated happy feeling from a air condition, from something cold. So that is what we call the contaminated happy feeling. It seems to be happy, but then after some minutes, that fresh cold, that coldness turn into suffering. And this is the proof of suffering of changing. Then we have the third kind of suffering, which is even more difficult for us to accept. This is actually the suffering of the neutral feeling. So when we have neutral feeling, we all think, oh, we have no suffering, we have no pain. This is our way of understanding, you know. But in fact, it doesn't matter. No matter wherever we go, it seems we are neutral, we have nothing. But in fact, there's always suffering at a subtle level, you know, without knowing, you know. So this means these contaminated, you know, the contaminated neutral feeling is also another kind of suffering. So we have these three kinds of suffering that are changing, that are the neutral feeling, and the pain. These are the three sufferings that we're always living together, So as long as we are inside the three realms, we always have these three. And what is most easy for us to understand is the suffering of pain, be easily understood. But the two other, we don't really follow so much. We don't really pick up easily.
야, 당 가서 인중 삼바시에 티케션 붙이고 요리 코와칸가 동해기랑 힘받지 셰체네 코와칸가 동해기랑 힘받지 마시나 코와레야 인중글로 지금 말이 코와레야 탄두글로 지금 말와 지금 코와 델레 탈베 네 탈바치 돈도 니버 제발라 당보 코와레야 민드베 로치치 우리 코와세에 닝보메바 코와세에 지보메바 코와칸가 동해랑 힘받지 인심이 셰고레 대마시바이는 코와텔리아 탈비 탄두글로 지금 말이게 욕삼바 지금 말이 배나가서 미치티 배나 미치 사샤치리아 룽바치라 코라 룽바텔리아 배 동해게 라시 임바트 룽바텔리아 지보 메바치 토바이나 미티게 셈이야 다 룽바텔리아 룽바텔리아 코 갈수그레 민들로지 치네 룽바텔리아 덴르 메베게 로지 치그로와 룽바텔리 카트라네 룽바 셴바첼로 로고 냠냐게 엔스 삼바디 치그로와 카 룽바텔리야 카르수그레 민두 벨로지 마체베체 룽바텔리야 치 치부 요바타 엔데 텔리야 차겐지 슈쳔보지 요바이나 메티 룽바 셴달리야 파 로에케 룽바텔리 가네 룽바 셴두 치그 로에케 코 삼코라 치그 마르와 티이자 마조 타르바시에티 토바 제발라 알레 당보 코에 동해기랑 시체네 코발리아 좀 통고그레스 어디서도
So this third this the second detachment is actually about nirvana. This means if we are attached to the three realms, we cannot have nirvana. We cannot free ourselves from samsara, from the three realms. So if we know how the three realms are in the nature of suffering, maybe suffering of suffering, maybe suffering of change, maybe suffering of the neutral feeling, the pervasion, the compounded pervasion, then we don't realize how the samsara is in the nature of suffering. If you don't see the samsara as nature of suffering, we then of course wouldn't have any interest to go away. We could have the renunciation. We could have the mind to leave samsara only if we understand this as the nature of suffering. For example, somebody if somebody wants to go away from one country, from one place, the person must have some kind of valid reason, valid understanding that the place is not good for him, that the place is not so easy for him. If the person knows that country, that place, one has so many suffering, this and this and this, then that person automatically will have the renunciation to leave, to go away from that place. So it's the same thing for somebody, for a Dhamma practitioner who want to have renunciation, who want to leave samsara, must know that the three realms or the samsara is full of suffering. Without this, one cannot have renunciation.
야, 당 가서 아는 코와 시에텔 타야 요르베스 동해 시에테 메버서야 요르베 동해 타야 요르베 동해에 에네 타르베게 탑디 요르베스 다디 저 첨부지로 봐 제가 동해 텔레 타르바 제벌라 동해게 이니 죽하레 göte 있는 건지 제고래 동해게 göte 뭐였네 동해게 göte래야 님보 여다메 동해게 göte 아니 갈수 그래 빵비게 탑 님보 여다메 스네다 당부 동해게 뭐였지 아니 이 제수 아니 동해대 이니 죽하라 되는 중거래 동해대 주메 찜밀레 되는 중하다 말에 동에 줄에 되는 중화래 교대야 아니 민투비 줄에 되는 중화대 말이 퇴비 줄에 중화래 다 텐디기 동에 교대 뭐 손네 아니 동에 그 교대다 내버서에게 아니 예모 카레 선에다 도시에네 좀 내게 송여와 담바시 송도 당보 동에 셔바샤스 디제수 아니 동에 그 군중 등어세네 아니 군중 빠마샤스 군중 대빵배 아니 빵바 타르바세데 타방원도 차스 타르바데 온도 제발라 아니 대 터비게 탑 아니 람곰바샤스 땅가서 타르바트비 람지를 말로도 냠네게 말로도 아니 담바시에세데 대식 냠네 도스진 람바지는 송용도와 도시는 송고요라
At this point, we have then, people have to question, So as we talk about nirvana, as we talk about, freedom from suffering, freedom from samsara, the question is it really possible to be free from samsara? Is it really possible to get rid of all the sufferings? This is the question. And then to know the answer, we have to ask ourselves, are the sufferings remediable? Is it possible to remedy them? Do we have some solution? Do we have the remedy to fight against the cause of suffering? And we have to know what are actually the causes of suffering. Can we eliminate them? And in what way? So for this reason, we have to then understand if it's really possible to, we have to first recognize the causes of the sufferings, and we have to know the sufferings themselves. Then we have to know the technique to attain the nirvana. Then we have to know exactly what is the nirvana, So for this reason also, we have exactly the teaching, the famous teaching of the Buddha Shakyamuni, the Four Noble Truths. He first taught the true suffering, because people are living with some suffering. Therefore, he taught the true suffering. But then later he said, "Oh, true origin, where did the sufferings, true suffering, come from?" The question. Then it's okay. It came from a cause. The cause are, cause that are something concordant to any kind of suffering one has. The sufferings did not come by themselves. It must have come from some kind of causes. Therefore, Buddha talked about the second noble truth, the true origin. Then he talked about the true path, the technique to attain the nirvana. So then after that, he talked about the fourth noble truth, the true cessation, the nirvana itself. What is this nirvana? In that way, we then understand how exactly the four noble truths work. Okay.
但都是送用过的，第一张，大家我说，什么南边那里啊，8点出来去，日本我去，8点出来去，你南边怎么那里送药的？他那些，大家我说，中间的去，你接东边那里送药吧？南边怎么那开始送了，是你送的？你semjiranshi wesawa trimanamne lowa se songyore jeza ngara choge ranjuliya semse jorwa sheba se jorwa jewa ngamani thomane ngamane deyon dene chimandroni ki ngaso sem namshi se jorwa oteliya ani semjiranshi de wesabare slabe semjiranshi de wesabare se dukarsana semjiranshi le ya lower ke chime ke leba shuyo mare sigore When I also Chui Ranshila, Yoba Mashupata, Namki Ranshila, Trimma Mashupata, Seji Ranshila, Yamashuba Nashi, any Simchi, Maracho, Julia, Doshata, Controta, Najerta, Chadota, Desimla Sobata, Yomoma Shivichi Yorba, O Naratsuki, Ranjulia, Yomoshivichi Yoritina, Yomu Te, Naratsu, any. Simjiranhilia Shuyo Mare, Simjiranhi said you disagree that Jewa ngaman deyo deni chima tusineta tus rodenik semnam shi se jorwa o tiki ranhila chimile ba shuwa mare sete semji ranhi wesawas chima namne lo wase du tata lo ri chaso chima teso lo re si du karsana koso nyembo temba ina ani charung chodi yores koso le loji ki nyembo tobden yore koso ene lo chinche lo re lo shere koso le ya zida danga bi nyembo tobden yore ani nyembo temba ina koso ene 빵 초쇼 요래 근데 제롱소도 빵롱소도 요래스 어다 드니시 송 요르바
Then you know, when we talk about these the nirvana, the possibility to attain to go there, we then also should know that how our mind works, and everything is related to our mind. For example, Buddha Shakyamuni himself, you know, he mentioned about something about this in his Prajna Paramita, the 8,000 stanzas on the perfection of wisdom, and he also and then also, you know, other masters like Dharmakirti also. Yes, Dharmakirti then also talked about the you know, our mind being very naturally clear, the nature of the mind being clear, and the states of the mind being incidental, only adventitious. It is not naturally mingled with the mind. This means the mind by nature is clean, whereas the veils or the obscuration are only incidental. So our mind, you know, our minds have, of course, you know, attachment. Sometimes we have hatred, sometimes we have confusion, sometimes we have hatred and so forth. But all these are only existing as a veil, as an incidental obscuration. They are not completely mingled in the nature of with the nature of the mind. The mind itself is very clear by nature. It's same as, you know, the water being clear by nature, you know, is not mingled with the dirt, you know. All the sediments of the water can be separated. Also, you know, the sky by nature is clear, it's not mingled with the clouds, you know. Or we can talk about gold. Gold by nature is clean, but then maybe some dirts can come in, but we can take them out. So gold itself is not mingled together with the dirt. So similarly, our mind is also clear by nature, and any stains we have, any obscuration we have can be removed. And remove means we can eliminate them by meditation, by applying the right antidotes, and any kind of stains or obscuration we have, they're all possible to be removed. And therefore, we then have we can apply ourselves in meditation, in eliminating all the stains. In that way, then the nirvana is possible.
야, 다 도서 용어도 와티니자. 나라서 동해세티 자와티 뇽몽크 지고요레 슬라고레다. 뇽몽세스도와 뇽모바세티 뇽모세티 셈 마시버소니 셈 마도버소니 셈 미치버소니 텔레야 뇽모스 뇽모스나 제다 뇽모스나 동해스 거로와다 뇽모리 라 동해세티 콘 리미 줄라 따시리 제브 동해키 미티 쥐다다티 뇽모세 도신 따시로와 제자 뇽모세텔레야 나라츠 저치 니 뇽모티키 왕키 mendu shendo ta dungen aso ji nyongwe ti suche barsi nyomo se ti gorwa jeza dungen ki zawati kunjung ti la ya le ta nyomo iore any tin and zo ti nyomo se ti 다 뇨모리아 망보 시부지 여빈나니 뇨모 세티기 짜와짜와티 머리바 세티 지고요와 지상 알아서게 유모변의 수디 가리임바 시지게 니루모마티 라기 타도디 가리임바 가서디 시그요 말에 어디 미시바데 가리치버스디 머리바티 머리비 왕키 시그요 말에 그러나 좀 머리바세디 문바나히레 그러나 문바 여바이나 문바티게 멤베 드립치네 그래서 문바나리아 짜라 가리요나 미키 통면도 와가서 그러나 문바나리아 짜라 여바이나야 미기는 가서 통고요 말이 메토와 가르스나 문베기 제네 통고면도 와티나히 유케 네루 뭐마티 사모통바니 세티 나라서 아니 드롭삼니 나라서 시바 드롭삼니 시비 땡기 아니 네루 타도 사모통바니티 시바 코나 드롭삼니 코나기 네루티 드롭도 요르티 이나야 나라서 네루 시비기 네루 뭐마티 시기요 말이 티미시바티 딘지 머리빠세 되게 잼네 통통고요 말와 어디 이상 한 시비 왕키 이런 거 알아서 레도자지사 레티 온게다 도세 고고되고래서
So here we're trying to explain why we are suffering and why the sufferings are coming from, yeah. And in this way, we understand that this samsara is something that we should leave away, something that we should leave from. We want to go away from the samsara, and then and the reason is because we are suffering inside. But then the suffering themselves, of course, coming from a cause, which is the delusion. But then the delusion itself, if you ask the question, what is the delusion? This delusion is that which makes our mind unpeaceful, that which makes our mind suffering, that which makes our mind disturbed, that which renders our mind to be agitated. So this kind of all this results, all this agitations, the suffering itself, they are the effects of the delusion. So this delusion actually are the results, and then the sufferings themselves are the result of the delusion, and this actually the name of the result, name of this suffering is given to the cause, which is the delusion. Which means, what is delusion? Delusion is suffering. Why? Because from the delusion comes all the suffering. Therefore, suffering themselves can be a name that we can use for the delusion. So, of course, then when we talk about delusion, we have so many kinds. Delusion of this category, delusion of that category, big delusion, small category, big, medium category, and so forth. But at the end, delusion, at the most bottom of the delusion, the main cause is the ignorance. So this ignorance is something that covers our mind, something that covers ourselves to see the reality. For instance, we are born with our mind from the very first moment of coming into existence. With the mind, the reality of the mind also came together, but we have never been able to see their reality because of being covered by the ignorance. This is exactly the same as darkness. If you have darkness, the darkness blocks us to see anything that is in a room. Maybe in a big room there are many good objects, many bad objects, but we don't see them as long as we have the darkness. If we have the darkness, then we cannot see, good things, bad things. So then the only way, the possibility to see them is to remove the darkness. The day when we remove the darkness, then we can see all objects that are inside, in the house. That means when we remove the ignorance from our mind, then we see the reality of the mind, then we see all the effects of the mind, and so on.
야, 다 들리서 송거도가. 다 띄올라 되는 송거도 다동라 시에나 장선미 세다. 람지 조 남송고 나네 니 숨바. 가서 이버들을 왔다 람지 조 남송나니 니 이버 장축이 심세야 되게 대용거래. 진짜 다동라 시에나 니 장축 심바미세. 다 다동다 신동스 이유로와 다동세디 소소 소수의 돈다다 이 미신다게 돈다시네 이유로와 디자 장출선바시도 갈수 없으나 라다 신이진나네 라다 신이진나네 니 신지 돈 신지 돈 중에 신지 돈도 샘jen게 신지 돈도 배가치다 답게 소금 투면지 드리실이야 장출선바세 송고요로와 디자 장출선바세 디네 로와 란도레야 가수그리 란도 돈이지 로레야 니미스 따네 신동 돈이지네 선바들이야 평용다 연내시 따네 될라 이 체도 얘네 로 장고요레 맞아 다신냠지 로세디 장고요로와 디이상 다동라 신나네 장출선바 말에 세도와 어디인자 다동라 신나 세디 따다데 틸레용고레 다동라 신나 세디 맞아 지부 충고다 지부 리히트서 차도고레 배나 니라트 소이나 대본 멤버 니라트 소 이네 다동라 신고레 리젠스게 탐지 돈다 드롭투사 말이다 마나 지부 돈다 체드 상고요로와 자쇼선바세 에디니 말에 란르 돈체네 남기 타다니 심제때 타치 게다 돈데 주고 인삼네 근데 란르도 동고요로와 디사 다동라 제나 이네 장세 말에 세연들 대케네 다 투버침비 남지름 봐 장출샘데 땡용보래서
Okay. Now we come to the third line of this text, which says, if you have too much interest for one's own purpose, one's own interest, then one cannot have a bodhicitta. In other words, one cannot be bodhisattva. So this exactly corresponds to the third level of being, the great being, because we say that there are three beings, yeah, small being, medium being, and great being. The small being and the medium being only have self-interest, only wanting to be free from lower realms, only wanting to be free from samsara, only wanting to have the nirvana for oneself. So this means they don't have they don't have the interest for others. Whereas the medium, the great being has interest for others, for other people, and this is exactly what the meaning of bodhisattva, the meaning of bodhisattva is somebody who is concerned for others' welfare, for others' interest. And we know, that anybody who has too much concern for oneself is selfish, is only full of self-interest, and this person cannot have bodhicitta, and automatically he cannot, or she cannot be bodhisattva. A bodhisattva has to be someone who has only the interest of other people, not that of oneself. So this is then this is the meaning of this, the exact meaning of this, the great being, and that great being is exactly compatible to this third detachment, at the separating oneself from the self-interest, and one is training oneself to have only the interest of other people. And this is why, we have different kinds of thought training, the mind training, to have altruism. Okay.
야, 다 자주 선bat했어, 오케이. 되게 송구요래. 현동 쪼치나 란동 샤라 조용 수거래 이제 장쇼 선바트서 탑케버레스 장쇼 선바트서 엄마 넘버레스 장쇼 선바트서 그 아니 란동 쪼치요 말이 현동 쪼치인데 란동데 아니 샤라 조용 세 수거래 아니 니라라 소바트서 란동 쪼치요래 랑게 또 쪼치인데 알리 현동 드레타 파샤네 란동테야 란동 타소치 조투고요 말이서 어디서 거라
Okay. And then, when Bodhisattva works only for the sake of other people, they automatically accomplish their own purpose. The self-interest is realized by nature, by self, by means, by automatic means. When somebody is very concerned for only oneself, then one cannot even have a great success. One, of course, one can attain something for oneself, but not the really the perfect self-purpose. The perfect self-purpose is cannot be realized because one is too much. One has too much the selfish, the self-interest mind. So as long as when somebody has the interest of self very strong, the real purpose of self is not really perfectly realized. So the bodhisattvas, they realize the interest for other people, and automatically they also realize the perfect purpose for oneself also.
다간나지 장초 선바 아티샤키 tesungore ngarato tesungore ta tamabateso 동해 가세 대원도 좀 어때 뭐베 랑게 대와 드라탄 좀스 동해 돈도 세미요 좀 동해니 동 오바주 세tesung도와 제자 랑게 대와 드라탄 좀세티 랑게 대와 드라 나시 좀부도 세티 티 가르스고레 살람나 선바상부 소야들이 현라 팬비상부티 소야들이스 현동 조치지 와 현라 팬비상부터 아니지 현동 조여줘로와 어디 지금에도스 이 사람게 랑게 대와잖아 지금부터 오세지 아니 동해 돈도 세미요 좀 동해니 동 오버주스데 동해 민두비 삼모다 동해 매버소에게 삼모도 요리나야 아니 가서 그래 동해 니동 오버주 세데 동해 니도 동해 주지부 동해 주에게 체도 주 라치부 삼노치오로와 라치부 마도 삼노 타이메 삼노치오로와 로노초고 돈도 예번이자 어디 동해 니동 오버주 스타디 돈다 도르디시나 가르스 거르세나 아니 동해 기자와디 가르스나 라친지글로 드레스 대지게 대외 자와디 가르스나 아니 가르스 그래다 예친지글로 드레스 어디서 거라
Okay. So here, if we analyze, we can say the bodhisattvas actually realize their perfect interest of themselves, perfect interest of other people automatically because of focusing on the interest for others, whereas the other people like the hearers and the solitary realizers, they are too concerned for their own purpose. They don't even realize they're really perfect, the most like excellent self purposes they don't realize. And then this is why Shantideva says that when people are too much concerned for their own sake, then they have a big consequence, the negative consequence. They say, Shantideva said like this: the ordinary people, ordinary people, they want happiness, but they destroy the cause of happiness. The ordinary people do not want suffering, but they look after, but they run after the cause of suffering. What does it mean? It means the suffering of happiness is altruism. The mind wishing to help other people. So that is really the happiness. But one is destroying because one doesn't have that. One is not really happy to develop that kind of altruism. And at the same time, they were saying, okay, we the ordinary people, we do not want suffering, but we always run. We always run after the cause of suffering because we have too much concern for the selfish, for our self-purpose. Our self-cherishing mind is too strong, and then therefore we are running constantly after the cause of suffering. Then of course, then the result sufferings come in a natural way.
Yeah, VR is very, very difficult.
We are in a difficult
Yeah,
situation.
that's interesting what he now. Just that the rich song the good what is 장축이 샘세대 장축이 샘세대 특별 침벽이 람지 이 흉신이 송거래 특별 침벽 람지 유고이 있어거래 안에 되네 송거래 다 장축 샘는 맞지나 산제 나야 민주신 고와신도 줘발라 답예요 뭐 많이노 스네 조조나 송거래 안에 장축 샘제 전화 계직이 코에 쏟아담비 냠타나 대신 남비 세지 조제지 지들 하면 제가 찾아주로서 그다 장주심게 장주심세에 대 평용 관리 뭐 내가 관리 뭐지 되는 소용도 와.
Okay. So then to conclude our teaching, we can say that the bodhicitta mind, the mind of altruism is really like the main entrance or the main door to Mahayana, to the Mahayana mandala. It is like the principal tool that we should have if we want to be Mahayana practitioner. Then also Shantideva says, if one possesses the bodhicitta mind, that person from the very first moment of the generation of the altruism or the bodhicitta mind, that person becomes the object of worship for all the people, object of worship for the gods, for the human beings, and this generational mind also destroys all like a huge amount of negative karmas. So there are many benefits of generating such altruistic mind or bodhicitta mind, and all these are explained with so much examples and commentary by Shantideva in his first chapter of Bodhisattva Charyavatara.
제가 좀 내게 시행란 처와 개종 많이노 송어리 다 시행이야 처와 주니 지주 말이서 시행란 처와 제바 있나티 개종 말이 티 남바 말이 송어리 티 셰고에 기준신 가르에서나 남바 산제베케 최 탐지게 자와데 인지 지구여스 로아다 특별 체중기 최관리지나야 자와데 인지 권을 라니 아니 송구요리 대인사 최 탐지지 자와데 인지 레 송구요리 대한 인지 제고베 준세 갈세나 좀 낸데게 남바 산제베 따와데 땡용레디요와 아니 말아서 이 대화다 동에대 탐지데 라라케 저다 챤레데니 중고지레스 대인사 때는 좀이 이 땡종이자 델라 때네 아니 최탐지 자와데 인지 제고에 선바상부 소고에 델라 때네 이 신라야 처와 미지야 어디 송거리 신라야 선바상부 마제 제 선바나포스 선바 엠바지 수바 있는 델라 때네 신라 처와디 용거리 신라 처와 제바 있나 델라 때네 랑리야 용저디 용거리 랑라 동에디 용거리 라진 이거리야 강에 로가다 동에 소대에 조조데 데레도와 선바상에 되는 용도와 오도스라.
Okay. So then to make a summary of our teaching, we can say that Buddhism is based upon the theory of interdependent relationship and the practice of non-violence. Okay, and these two things are related to each other. To each other, you know, the interdependence is something based upon, you know, the theory of compassion, and the compassion itself is also based upon the theory, you know, the interdependence. So this means knowing that everything is interdependent, we then should behave in the right way. We should not be violent. We should not harm other people, because if we do not harm other people, we automatically create happiness and peace for ourselves. Because if we create violence, if we harm, then the law of interdependence is that it comes back to ourselves. This is the way that we should understand these two things: the theory of the interdependence and the basis of compassion. You know, in this way, we should understand.
야, 딱 가서 뒤수 가로지 줘서 아니 지나 좀 미세 저거 이외에 딱 저거 면은 가서 대리 대샤 산이 애들이 뭐 강바 다다디 강바 니바도 숨바 가서 숨바도 쉬워지다 마사케 요 말에 가서 디 신윤용 쉬우죠 봐 신윤용 쉬우죠래 아니 마사에 그 강에치 요 말에 아니 제시 가르 잡나 자자요래 답에데 조제팅 사부 쉬우지래 가서 지나지래 지나지 가서 파텐에 텐요가 조금 꾸며요 지래
Okay. So now we conclude. We finish the session here, and then tomorrow we continue the third line and the fourth line a little bit more. And actually, this subject of the poor detachment is like rubber. You know, rubber is something that we can. It's elastic. You know, it can be very short. It can be also very long. If we pull it out, it becomes very long. If we let itself, it becomes very short. So we have the time to talk, you know, to elaborate it so much tomorrow more and more tomorrow, yeah? And then right now we stop, but then maybe before stopping, if you have some question, I'm happy to answer you. If not, no problem. Yeah?
Actually, it's not a question, it's a request. Maybe, please, Geshe, can you give some example about the subtle suffering, actually the neutral subtle suffering?
Okay.
Yes, I wanted to ask the same question, actually.
Okay. 다디 저한테 드링제 상이 렌자 다 도저히 뭐 찾았어요. 혼자 그나 다 다니 가도 돼. 서로 땅뇽 다 단나가도 돼. 잡아도 주 동에까지 셔러서. 잡아도 주 동아도 세시도 되는 서로 땅뇽 샤도 서로 땅뇽도 잡아도 주 동에다 간에 있는 약고지 고도 마수사.
아래다 제가 차와 두시게 동에서 했더라. 서로 땅뇽이 미쳐고 말해. 차와 두시게 동에서 했대. 차와 두시게 동에서 했대. 제당 가서 차바서 했대. 딱 코에게 내 탐질을 차바돼서 그래. 또 코에게 내 탐질이야 차비 동에서 했지. 시고래. 다당 가서 사치지 소와 동념서 했대. 소와 숨게 나네. 소와 숨이야 동에 숨도 쓰지. 나다 차와 두시 동에서 소와 동념 시작으로 와. 그래서 소와 동념 때 가르치고 그래서나 소와 동념서 했대. 냐와게 심전에 지네 여기 쓰지게 또 쓰지게 심전 발게 심전 탐지 요라 소와 동념 때 도치네 요여버래 소와 동념 때 코란 사치 소와 동념 때게 대 동에게 땡치고래 다다 동에게 동에다 유외 동에지 땡치고요래 사치지 소와 동념 때 깝깝래야 동에 그거 파 조르고래 깝깝 유외 동에 거 조르고래 깝깝 코란 소와 누지게 동에치네 되는 이상
So this third category of suffering is called actually the compounded pervasive suffering, technically speaking, okay? Compounded pervasive suffering. It means it is a compounded phenomena. It is something pervasive. Two aspects, yeah? But then when we explain this compounded pervasive suffering, we take the contaminated neutral feeling just as an example. It doesn't mean just the contaminated neutral feeling is already, it's enough. The third suffering, no, this is just only one part, you know, because it's just only one example, and whereas the compounded pervasive suffering is something that exists in the entire three realms, from the lowest level of the lower realm up to the highest level of samsara. This means the compounded neutral feeling, it serves as a basis for the suffering of pain, for the suffering of suffering, for the suffering of change, and for the suffering of also, you know, the compounded pervasive suffering. So the neutral contaminated feeling is always there, from the lower realm, the most bottom, the lowest suffering, lowest level of lower realm, lowest part of lower realm, up to the highest level of samsara, the samsara. And then they are always there. The only thing is that this neutral feeling, depending on the moment, depending on the time, sometimes it turns into suffering of pain. Sometimes it turns into the suffering of changing. Therefore, we call this compounded pervasive suffering, because it's everywhere. It pervades everywhere. All the three realms.
Tang araso tungel yang eba jung se ti tungel som jina ne zo ti chawa duji je tungel yang eba jung ji kugures o zo te sungore.
So this means when we actually talk about renunciation, we actually should free ourselves from this third suffering, from this compounded pervasive suffering. This is the one that we should try to be away from. You know, we should be away. We should liberate ourselves from this third category of suffering.
Okay, that telling us the shashur.
We stop here now.
Sa je bu je cho je me do san je shen de men den bu wa ye
do nam da xin la ju sho yi da guru ren nam men da ga da ya mi
ge wa de yo de da la ma
yo do da la ma san ye do
do je do wa je jo ma
do ji jiang ma lu ba yi sa la go ba ra sho
ka re re ve ko ve
gu wei xin gam de pen dang da wa ma lu ju wei jian re si wang ten zi jia su yi xia pe si de ba tu di jo ji
chang chu sim chu ren bo
ren bo je ma je pa na ji ju ri ji jia wa yang ba me ba go ne gong do pe la wa la sho.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Geshe for this opportunity. And thank you so much, Sharad, for helping with translation. And thank you everybody for being part of this meeting. Interdependent.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Have a good evening. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.